Welcome back here. Happy Friday, TGIF. The grind includes Friday here, Totem Nation. I got my main man, Johnny Bottles, Central Florida. I got Coach T representing the two up, two down. Virginia is for lovers. Virginia is for lovers. What's going on, fellas?
I'm doing great, Johnny. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, buddy. How you making out?
Hey, it's football season, so
Your time of year, your time of weather, your time of year.
One day goes into another, man.
Yeah. What's it like being out there watching those kids? It was 110 degrees out.
I wear a hoodie. Yeah, I wear a hoodie
And galoshes.
Yeah, party
Parka.
on, Wayne. Party on, Garth.
There he is.
Coach Bald. What's the life lesson for today?
There are two places you need to go, and you need to go often. And that is the place that heals you, and the other is the place that inspires you. And yeah, we had a good show yesterday. We were just talking about people that were inspirational to us. And I mentioned some of our football coaches, Coach Taylor. I didn't even get to any of the Gates coaches like Mr. Krostic, who had, such a huge influence. Coach Tension, who he treated everybody the same. He yelled at everybody. What a goat, right? Tell Johnny about the time that you guys were wrestling before practice and what Coach made you guys do.
I don't remember. It wasn't
Okay.
any worse than what my dad did to me growing up. I know that.
So, Johnny, this is the story. These guys were all in their gear before practice, hitting the WWF moves, because it was old school back in the day before WWE. They were hitting the WWF moves. Coach, there's a thing that they call bear crawling. And that is when you're basically on your hands and, you don't let your knees touch and you just have to get after it and move around, and you usually do it in like maybe 10-yard increments. Well, because they were not happy with what those boys did that day, he made them bear crawl around the whole entire field, the sidelines and everything. I'm pretty sure if you did that today, that there would be a sheriff there to arrest you as a coach. But yeah, he made those guys bear crawl the whole field. And yeah, from what I heard, about halfway, there was a lot of tears coming down. But they did finish that bear crawl. And guess how many times they wrestled before practice after that, Johnny?
Oh, I don't know. How many?
No, never. They never did.
I mean, hey, wrestling's something we love.
Yeah.
I was watching Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan. Andre the Giant was one of the guys that really pushed Hulk Hogan. I didn't know that. I thought they hated each other.
Well, that's what they like you to believe for a good
Yeah.
story. Never let the truth get in the way of a good story. But no, they actually Andre respected Hogan because of what Hogan was doing for the business. And, as the old saying goes, a rising tide lifts all boats. When business is good, everybody makes good money. Everybody does well when the business is good. So that's what happened. And he said to Hogan right before the body slam, WrestleMania 3, "Pick me up, boss. Pick me up, boss." And Hogan picked him up and gave him the slam. It was a quick one. He didn't get him high off the ground, but it was just enough to make it look good. 500-pound giant. Good Lord. You imagine lifting up a 500-pound man. You're putting your hand in your forearm in Andre the Giant's, for lack of a better term, taint. And then you're hooking one of his arms to lift him up and throw him down on his back. Oh, I can hear him now. Oh. Probably a lot of wind was passed that day when Andre hit the mat because he was famous for that. When he would get body slammed or pinned, he would just let it all go. the massive amount of methane that was in his belly from the night before, from the 119 beers. It's a true story. He drank 119 beers at one sitting.
That's impressive.
A case of wine, a case of French red wine, he drank at one sitting. Can you imagine? Good Lord. Not to mention, if you ever visited his hotel room, you couldn't take a shower. But I'll let that one go for another day. Coach Paul knows what I'm talking about.
And I didn't know he had giantitis or whatever, where his body kept growing.
Giantism.
Yeah. He his parents didn't monitor it, and they didn't know what it was. They were poor people in France. They had no idea what he had. They just thought he was a big boy. And it got worse and worse as it went on. That's what can happen to you when you have that giantism and you don't get it corrected. It's a pituitary gland surgery. They go through your nostril up into your pituitary gland. They may have to cut your nostril.
Wow.
To make it wider to get the tools up in there. Depends upon how big how big a cavern you got there in the middle of your face. But they go up in there and they do something to your pituitary gland to stop it from producing the hormone, the growth hormone.
Man, is there any way to get it or to give it to yourself if you wanted to grow?
No, unfortunately, it's a birth defect. It occurs naturally in biology. I'm sure that they've done research on it. All these scientists behind the scenes, they do all kinds of freak show research. What if we take a baby scalp and sew it to the back of a rat? They've done that. That just got leaked out. They took a baby scalp and sewed it to the back of a rat to see if it would continue to grow, and the hair would grow and it would thrive. And it did. It had a blood supply, and the hair grew. The rat had a long ponytail, like a pigtail coming off its back. They're doing that for people who were follically challenged, like myself.
Yeah, like LeBron.
Like LeBron.
LeBron will have it next.
Yeah, a scalp transplant. They do face transplants. I just saw a guy found true love. He found a woman who's a nurse who's a knockout. And he was 25 years old. He was in a bad car wreck. And the car caught fire. And he lost a hand. And he lost his face. Had it all burned off. And he just got a hand and a face transplant from a 45-year-old man. They put the new face on him. And it's still puffy. It stays swollen for like a year. And they look like they got chipmunk cheeks after they get a face transplant. But that's natural. It goes down after a year's time of taking the cocktail.
Can you show us a picture of this?
Yeah, I can pull it up.
Yeah, pull that up. A face transplant.
Face transplant.
Maybe there's some hope for me. Maybe there's another 45-year-old guy out there who, how do I sign up for one of these?
You can't. You've got to have a medical reason.
Well, I think that there's definitely a medical reason. All right, because when some kids
what are you talking about?
Well, my dad said that in order to get the dog to play with me, they had to tie a bone around my neck. So maybe I'm next up for a face transplant, Coach Paul.
Oh man, hey, you're doing great, Coach. You're doing great.
One day at a time, man. What is today?
You're a handsome man, pal. Don't let me tell you.
Friday. It's Friday. You still got those baby face looks, man. Can you even grow a full beard?
No. Not at all. Not at all, man. Never have. Never will. But it's not me. I don't discriminate against people that have facial hair. Grow your beard like ZZ Top. There needs to be more guys like ZZ Top in this world. But I just can't do it. Man, maybe because I'm part Indian, Have you ever had Ancestry.com or your blood sent to China to tell your DNA?
No. Have you?
Yes. Yes, I have. I found out I'm 25% English and pretty much 75% Polak and Bohunk.
All right, guys. I found the article for this guy with the face transplant. And there's nothing gory here. You can see how he used to look. Good-looking kid. I mean, hey, not that way, but he was a good-looking kid.
Yeah, he's a handsome guy. I mean,
A handsome, just like you, pal. He's a handsome devil.
yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he got his face burned off.
Man.
And I'm gonna pull this up. Let me hit present. I got a lot of buttons I gotta hit just to do this, so bear with me. And let me rearrange. Let me reconfigure what we got going on here. And let's see if I can make this bigger. Now I lost everybody. Hang on. There we are. We're back.
Now I'm
Okay.
a punching bag for trolls.
I'm in love with a face transplant survivor, and I'm a punching bag for trolls. Jessica Perez found love at first sight with her new beau, face transplant recipient Joe DeMayo. Just 8 months after the groundbreaking procedure, Perez met DeMayo, who's 24, who now touts... a little early, folks. He now touts the face of a 48-year-old donor after a fiery car accident that left him with horrific third-degree burns on 80% of his body. Following the crash, DeMayo underwent 20 reconstructive plastic surgeries and skin grafts before he received his new mug. I like how they put it in New York. This is his new mug. His new mug from New York University's Langone Medical Center in 2020, making him the first patient to receive a simultaneous face and bilateral hand transplant.
Bilateral hand. That's his new face?
That's his new face right there. You see how he's swollen in the cheeks and around his eyes. He's all puffy. And, hey, she's a good-looking kid.
Yeah, I'm so happy for them. You know,
Yeah.
and he could actually wear a mask.
There's a close-up right there. And he looks like a young-looking 40-year-old man. If you know?
I'm trying to. He kind of looks like a guy that used to be a movie star.
Wilford Brimley?
His first name was Ron. I can't remember his last name.
Jeremy?
Kind of has that stash going.
I mean, that is fascinating. That is fascinating to me.
23-hour surgery to do that. Can you imagine? They got to hand it off. Well, one surgeon gets tired. They got to hand it off to another. It's like a relay race.
Has he gotten to meet the guy?
He's gotten the meat?
Face?
I think he still retains his meat, yes. I don't think he lost that in the crash.
Has he got to meet the guy whose face that he has now?
That happens a lot. That does happen a lot.
Did he actually get to meet the guy that they took the face off of? Did that guy get a new face?
They looked in a box and there he was. Sorry, skeleton. Sorry, Mr. Ghost Rider. Sorry about your luck.
Like, is the guy dead? Does he donate your face to science?
You're dead. When you just can't walk around without a face. Well, some people do, but you just can't say, I don't like this. I'm going to give it to that guy over there. When something,
I want to switch.
Let me know when Brad Pitt dies. We're going to see if he's a match. When Brad Pitt
player to be named later.
Let me tell you something. With these face transplants, organ transplants, you've got to take a cocktail of drugs, like 16 different things, every morning so your body doesn't reject the new tissue. Now, they say that one day your body may accept it as its own tissue and cells and all that, but it's a long process, and maybe for the rest of your life, you have to take these anti-rejection drugs. There's a technical term for them, but I forgot what it was.
Yeah, but I'm not smart enough.
There was a guy who was a wackadoo. He was a little crazy, and because of what he went through, not having a face, and they gave him 2 hands, and he decided he wasn't going to take the drugs anymore. And his face looked like a bowl of cornflakes. It just started to deteriorate and rot and peel away.
Kind of like
and the hands too.
Freddy Krueger.
Like Freddy Krueger. Yes. She stumbled upon his story and reached out to him online, and the two have been together ever since.
Look at her teeth. She got beautiful teeth.
Yeah, she's a beautiful girl. Beautiful kid. From her first phone call, Joe was special to me, she said to a reputable site, needtoknow.co.uk. Whatever the hell that is. We talked every day on the phone. It was a long distance for us at the beginning, with me based in Ohio and him based in Jersey. But it wasn't until the pair met in person that Perez was smitten. I fell in love with him the first time I hugged him. She gushed, describing her boyfriend as sweet, kind, and caring. I believe that he could be. Joe checks all the boxes for me. There's no reason to doubt any of that. And there he is right there. He looks a little younger with the cheeks covered up. Perez, who works as a nurse, is not fazed by his medical needs. I get a lot of hate online. At this point, I feel like a punching bag.
When he's a Yankees fan.
Yes, I believe so. Yep. Yes, certainly is.
There he is.
Not even the trolls can break their love spell, no matter how cruel the comments are. People say I'm a gold digger, attention seeker, call me fake. She decided to share their love and journey on TikTok to bring awareness to his story, racking up nearly 100,000 followers. But she feels the judgment beyond a phone screen, saying people stare when they're out in public. Sometimes people say, what's wrong with his face? Because his face is swollen.
I mean, the guy could have leukemia, man. He could be on steroids for some cancer.
He could have a lot of things. And Coach, this is what he looked like.
Beforehand,
that's him from 2018.
Can you make that bigger?
Yeah. That's him before.
It kind of ruins it because he's got the phone in front of his face. But That is a nice curtain shirt. What is it? A shower curtain back there.
A small shower. Holy cow! Yeah.
That must be a North Jersey apartment, like right outside of Manhattan. There, man.
You got to get that thing sideways, right, Coach?
It's not big.
Is that him before or after?
Right here is him after in the Yankees jersey.
And that's a French bulldog.
Yeah.
That guy can jump.
Because Joe has a complicated transplant, we have to be prepared for hospitalization, she said. We've had to cancel trips and plans. We can't go out in the summer heat, even for a walk, because he can go into rejection from the sun. While there are limitations on what they can do, they're making it work and even hope to buy a home to grow their family together. The Mayo told the Post previously there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And here we go. That's him right after the transplant. He's really swollen. He's trying to talk.
Wow.
And that's the difference between the two right there.
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
That is amazing.
Wow.
That dude looks like a movie star. Dude looks like John F. Kennedy Jr.
Yeah.
And let me see him now.
He's right there.
I mean, hold on. So the picture on the right, that's before the face transplant.
This is him right here.
And he's got two hands.
Well, what if you notice on this one here and here, he's lost his fingertips. So what they opted to do was give him all new hands.
So what did they do? Did they cut the whole hand off and put a new hand?
Yeah.
No. Huh?
Yeah, they take the hand off. They take the old hands off and put two new ones on.
So it's almost like Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's not a mechanical hand. It's someone else's hand.
Someone else's hand. And he's
So does that mean he has different fingerprints?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Wow.
He's got the tattoo sleeves, I guess, to cover up the scars because they go high up to connect the tendons and everything.
Okay.
They go up here so they can suture everything in.
Fascinating.
Hey,
modern medicine.
Anything's better than this over here.
Yeah, man.
Anything's better than that.
You know, that reminds me of Darkman. Didn't Darkman have something like that?
Darkman had his face burned off. And because of all the agony he was in, when he was found by those medical students in the river, in the East River, they pulled him out. And to treat him, they had to snip his nerve cluster for pain in his extremities so that he couldn't feel physical pain anymore. That's why he was such a badass, because he couldn't feel physical pain and he wouldn't get tired as often because they snipped his nerves.
Was Darkman Marvel or was he DC?
That was an independent thing that was created by the director. That was a hero that he created when he was a kid. Sam Raimi. Wow. He's the guy who did the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire. Well, he did all three of those. with Tobey Maguire, the great Sam Raimi. His last movie, they talked him out of retirement to do Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. If you see the Evil Dead movies, the original Evil Dead movies, and the movies like Ash versus Army of Darkness and things like that, they were all directed and written by Sam Raimi. Same guy's responsible for all that. Remember that movie Drag Me to Hell? Where
I think I lived that one.
I've been married twice too, pal. I lived that one too.
That's a reality show.
I think it was like some little rich girl got smart with a fortune teller, a female gypsy, and the gypsy cursed her and said the devil's going to come for her, and eventually he did, and he dragged her down into a pit, into hell.
That's why I'm glad I know Mr. Big, because Mr. Big has told my friend who had a spell cast on him by a witch, which is an offensive term to call someone, but how to break the spell. All right, Mr. Big, thank you very much. All right, the egg was thrown in the river, okay, and the spell is gone.
Wow.
You had to throw an egg in the river.
Well, I didn't have to do it, but there's a guy that I know who met a witch, and that's an offensive term. So
I met two. I've met two.
Yeah.
And I went up marrying both of them.
And this witch cast a spell on him, and Mr. Big told me what to do to get the spell cast off of him. And it had to do with an egg, a raw egg, and throwing the egg in a moving body of water. All right, is that a river behind you, or that's a bay?
It's the Tampa Bay.
Okay, so that would not constitute. It has to be running water.
Gotta be running water.
Yeah. So my friend has done that. The witch had a voodoo doll. She kept sticking pins in his
He could
head.
feel it.
Agony. I mean, this guy's had some stuff happen to him, dude. He's like,
what episode? Why did I miss this episode? Are we not filming that? Because that's
I don't know if the guy wants to come on camera, dude.
That's the type of stuff we need here.
That a witch had a voodoo doll and was, sticking pins in the little voodoo doll head and in other parts of the body.
Folks, tune in Monday. Tune in Monday, folks, for Troy Taylor's Tales from the Dark Side.
Okay, so last time I was on here, we talked about the seance.
Yeah, we did.
Well,
bring back Frank Sinatra and putting his consciousness in the body of madness.
Yeah, and then the beard laws.
I got a better one, though. You bring back Paul Lynde and put Paul Lynde in the body of madness.
He said it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that?
He said it doesn't work like that, that you cannot, communicate with certain famous people, that you actually don't know who you're communicating with until they tell you. And he uses a Ouija board as one of the ways, or a chalkboard, all right? And he said you have to be in the same room with the person. You cannot do it on YouTube. And he said he would actually suggest, all right, that you not do it, that you do not have a seance, which means communicate with the dead, all right? Okay. Because if he does it and you tell people not to do it, what is that going to do?
They're going to do it.
More people are going to do it. He said he doesn't want people to do it. So fascinating. Mr. Big, thank you for teaching me everything that you have learned. And he loves UFOs, Coach Bald.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah. We've got podcasts on it.
Coach Johnny Bottles, did you know that they were known as Grays? That's offensive to call them Grays. We don't even have the Redskins anymore.
That's a racist term for aliens. I mean, I'm pretty pissed off about that.
The Grays.
Yes.
Grays do not like to be called Grays. All right, even though their skin is gray. Mm-hmm. And, he said that he's never been abducted himself. He's met a few people.
Oh, I can believe that. He travels
Wow.
in very diverse circles, so I can believe that he met someone like that.
Yeah, man.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Do you believe that a UFO crash landed in Roswell, New Mexico, back in the late 1940s, and we secured a corpse and a living alien, and we had that spacecraft in a bunker in Area 51 in Roswell, New Mexico? A lot of people have said, many people who lived back then said, they saw a light in the sky that came down and crashed. People said it was a weather balloon. Nothing to see here. Move along. That's what the government said. But think about the technological advances that this country went through, starting in the 1950s to the 60s to the 70s. Think about that. All the projects that we were working on, and all the technological and electronic marvels that they came out with after this thing crashed.
So do I think that it happened?
Do you think that?
No, because if it happened, we wouldn't know about it. So whatever happened, that ain't the truth.
Well, they still deny it. They still deny that actually happened.
I told Mr. Big that the government has actually admitted that there was UFOs and aliens. He says no, they have not. So, I mean, who knows? What about the lizard lady? That said that MFer isn't real. They finally found her, Coach Ball. Did you know that?
Well, no, where'd they find her at?
She was on a cruise without internet. I find that hard to believe, man.
That she was a marketing VP for some advertising company down in Texas, where she lives, and she's totally legit. She's not. They checked. They've gone. There was an article about it.
When is she going on Rogan? Can we get her on Totem Pole? Mr. Big?
She doesn't want to talk to anybody right now. She's got people camped outside her house. She's got people camped outside her job. She's got to work from home now. She can't leave the house. People have gone through her mail. People have gone through their trash cans. The press is outside, camped out, hoping to get an interview with this woman. And she just wants to be left alone.
It's like O.J. Simpson's house, when
Yes.
Al Cowlings, and we all watched that.
Do you think that she was being chauffeured by a lizard man in a white Ford Bronco up the highway?
Oof.
Al Cowlings?
The lizard man, Exigeous of the Alpha Centauri cluster, played the part of Al Cowlings with his snake-like head, just driving up the road.
They're in Hollywood, so I think anything is possible.
E.T. She's at Starbucks with E.T. in the drive-thru right now.
Yeah.
In a white Ford Bronco.
Phone home. Coach Bald, remind me what the life lesson is today, because I'm off the grid, man. I can't even remember.
Before you go into that, one last thing about the aliens. Are you familiar, Coach Troy, with David Icke? I-C-K-E. David Icke. He's a British author. And he's wrote and come out with all these different stories, interviews with people about aliens and how they are in our government, in the world government, not just United States, the world government, running things. They're co-governing with humans. And they are the cause of all the world's ills. David Icke. Check that guy out.
I'm going to have Mr. Big do a podcast about him.
Coach Big? Coach Big?
Coach Big from Wisconsin.
You get him on the next podcast of what you guys do.
David Icke
podcast. David Icke is the guy's name. He's old dude. He's got bad arthritis in his hands. You'll notice they're all like twisted up when he's like gesturing while he's doing a speech. But yeah, he's that dude is. Everybody say he was a crackpot. When he was talking about the Illuminati and aliens and Roswell and the vaccine and all that bullshit, how it all ties together. And believe what you want. That's what I always say. Believe what you want. Never let the truth get in the way of a great story. But This guy seems like he's kind of legit to me, anyway. But your mileage may vary.
I'm looking forward to talking to him. Coach Ball, what a backdrop. Look at that. Look at those clouds. That's paradise.
Yep.
That is paradise right there, man.
That's it. We're melting down here in Florida as usual. Did you guys hear about what's going on in Hawaii?
I was just thinking about that. Maui.
Send our thoughts and prayers to everybody over in Hawaii, man. They're pretty much completely off the grid right now. Cell phones not working. No electric. They don't have any gas there. You know, it's unbelievable, man. And that's the thing. The wind is blowing so heavy, you can't put these fires out. When you got wind levels at that high, there's no way. You're not doing anything with that fire. That fire is just going as far as it wants to go. What you're doing is you're putting your people in danger when you have them, trying to put out fires with 70, 80 miles an hour winds, man. Scary stuff right now in Hawaii. So, yeah, pray for Hawaii right now.
There was an interview online where a guy was trying to get to his family. He was separated from his family. He couldn't drive any further. And he got out of the car. And the way the fires were blowing all around, it burned his eyebrows off, burned half his mustache off. He's got like, he's checking his eyebrows.
That might be me.
You got a little something there?
Yeah.
And he burned his hands and feet because he didn't have shoes on. He just left the flip-flops in the car and jumped out. And he ran on the hot asphalt with his bare feet, jumped in the water, and he had to swim around the fires and climb back up the other side of the bay or wherever he was to get to his family. He says it's like the end of the world in Maui. That's what it seems like. All these celebrities have homes over there, musicians, actors, and they were all bitching about the fact that, well, we can't go back there anymore. We got to rebuild. Everything's destroyed.
Will insurance cover it?
Oh, I'm sure. Well, we went on vacation maybe about 12 years ago to the Outer Banks down in North Carolina, and a tree fell on the house. The neighbor's tree that was in her yard fell over and knocked her fence down and hit the side of our house, the roof and everything, and did damage to it. We talked to the insurance companies. The insurance companies said that was an act of God. There's no insurance for that. What? Meaning her homeowner's insurance wouldn't cover the damage done to our house. It was an act of God.
Why do you pay for insurance then?
It's like, you pay for it and pay for it and pay for it, and you don't need it. But then when you finally need it, they find a way to give you the shaft. That's what it's like.
So they're not making money.
What's that?
They're not making money. They cancel it.
Right. So our insurance company had to pay for the damage done to our house, which, naturally your homeowner's insurance goes up because of that. So you got to do what you got to do. But I'd like to find out. That's something I got to look up to see if the fires in Maui, were they started through human error, or was it an act of God? Did lightning come down and hit a tree, and the tree caught fire, and then who knows? Who knows?
Wow. So if I could, I got you here, Johnny. I need some wisdom here. So I got a friend of a friend of a friend hit me up and basically said, this is the scenario. There's these guys, there's 4 guys. They're pretty much like bros. You know what I mean? They hang out together. It's all good, all in good times. Everybody's in between their 30s and 40s to kind of give you the age range. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, one of the guys in his 40s has no kids. He has started dating this girl that's in her, we'll say, mid-20s. And she has 3 kids of her own. And they are between the ages of 10 and 2. And all his bros are just like, man, get away from her, get away from her. And, he ends up telling his bros sometimes that he's going to do one thing, and they find out that he's with her, and that, the bros are trying to reel him out of this thing, man. You, with your wisdom, it's always good to say, if I knew now what I did know then, what kind of advice would you give to that one friend Now he really likes this girl, but those other three bros of his, man, they're just guys that have kind of seen him go through everything. What would you tell him? Since you've been on this earth longer, you've messed up probably more than all of us, and you probably learned and know a ton more than us. Let me know, brother.
You probably messed up a lot more than us. Well, look,
Hey,
you're sitting in a place that looks like a cell.
it's just math.
In Florida.
I'm sitting in an empty bedroom.
I've messed up more than anybody.
Good Lord. Good Lord. Man, I hope I got some rope out in the shed and tie Hangman's noose. Jesus Christ.
No, man, come on. No, I need your help. I need your help. A friend of a friend of a friend.
The guy was never married, and he was always running around partying with his bros. And that was a life that he knew for years, partying with the boys. And he's used to that. And it's a bit of a adjustment when you start seeing somebody, and they want you, and that's someone who is looking for a father to her kids and a husband for herself. She sounds like she's got her head on straight. I mean, just because she's, her husband might have skipped out on her, and she's stuck with the 3 kids, and she's trying to make things work. And she wants to have a life. She wants to have a family. And she sees that in this guy, this mature man who's older than her, probably 15 years older than her, or maybe 12 years older. And she says, I got a second shot. I got another chance. This guy's a great guy. And he probably likes her, and he wants to make it work, but he's got that mindset in the back of his brain, that learned mentality. Hey, the boys what are we going to do this weekend? Oh, no, honey, you can't do that. We're going to go here. We got to go there. You're going to run off with them again to the club and get drunk or go to the bar? No. You got to leave that life behind. It's an adjustment for some people, but you got to do what makes you happy. You don't worry about what's going to make your friends happy. You got to look deeper down inside yourself. Do I want to make this work? Is this going to make me happy? And if she thinks she's legit, if he thinks that she really wants to have a life together, I know it's early, the stage of the game is probably early to make that assessment, but that's why you date somebody. Date somebody and date somebody and date somebody exclusively because you want to try to make it work and think, hey, this could be the one. Everybody thinks this could be the one. There's no shame in that. You tell the guy to give it a shot. Try to make it work and just say, hey, listen, I used to hang out with the boys all the time. And, they want to go here, they want to go there. And, you can trust me. I'm a decent guy. Blah, blah, blah. I'd like to go to Nick Sonny Frank's house to go watch the game. And, we're going to cook out, have some beers. Well, why can't I come? Why can't I come over? Well, it's just guys, honey. It's just the guys, that's all. Oh, okay. Well, don't stay out too late. That's all it is. You've got to finesse the situation. That's all. In situations like that. My problem was, with me, and my track record, I didn't have that mindset of, let's finesse the situation. I'm going to do what I want to do. Who are you to tell me that I can't go over so-and-so's house? You tell me I can't go to Nick Sonny Frank's house for a cookout? Watch me. And I'm out the door. I was unreasonable. Didn't know anything about it. I'm trying to finesse a woman's needs and their mentality and all that stuff. And guys, you've got to. You've got to know how to talk to them and negotiate. You got to be a hostage negotiator, and you're the hostage. That's what it is. That's what it is when you're a man in a relationship. You're the hostage. So that's what you've got to do. I didn't have that. I didn't know. Nobody told me nothing. I asked my father about it. He goes,
well, go find somebody else.
well, like it was a bad day? Okay, thanks, Dad. That's what he would tell me.
Go find somebody else. I'm watching John Wayne on Grit TV. Leave me alone. I'm watching Matlock. Leave me alone.
So, okay, thanks for the input, Dad.
Good stuff, man. Coach Taylor, I saw you raise your hand. Let's get your insight on that, man. Break it down. Break it down. We're talking about a guy. Look now.
Mr. Big, Mr. Biggs told me that he's a psychic. And I feel like maybe I'm getting
Mr. Big now. Jesus Christ.
I'm feeling like I've got some psychic ability here.
Well, you do.
I have a premonition.
Okay.
That this guy makes a lot more money than she does.
Could be.
Is that true or is that not true?
Yeah, that is a fact.
If he was making a lot less money than her, would she still want him?
You pose a great question.
There's always two sides to a relationship.
There's three.
Is there?
Her
What's
side,
the three?
his side, and the truth.
Yeah, bullseye.
I guess I don't deal with the truth. Some people don't. They can't handle the truth.
When you're dealing with human beings, everything's subjective. They put their spin on it when they're telling you their problems and their woes. They have their spin on it. And when they have a beef with somebody, that other person is lower than dirt. That other person is the Antichrist. Then if you go to talk to the girl, oh, he does this and he does that, and he clips his toenails at the dinner table. Oh, my God, he's terrible. What? How could he do such a thing? Their girlfriends say. How could he do such a thing?
So does he have a good job?
Yeah, he does well. He definitely does better, than what she does.
Hey, if he lost that job, would she still want him? If he was the low man on the totem pole, what did Jay-Z said? Would you still like me if I had a bus pass? Yeah. Can I get a what?
Boom.
Can I get a what?
That is awesome.
So where are you at on the fence there, Coach Bald, certified life coach?
What did you tell him?
Well, we haven't spoke on this matter yet, but my philosophy is this: he's at a certain, age that if he's looking for a life partner, he should find one that, and I don't want to sound rude about this, but she comes with some baggage that I'm not sure he's ready to be carrying. I don't know if he can carry that kind of luggage. It takes a different individual to take on that type of responsibility. And I think at the ages that those kids are at right now, I just don't think it's the best thing for him to take on. He can take on a lot of other different things that I think are better for his speed. I just think that's kind of my philosophy on this. I just don't think that he is ready to be that guy. You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy. That's kind of how I feel. And, I care about the guy and everything. And I just want, as a life coach, you do listen. You listen a lot more than you speak. And just from the outside, that's kind of what I see. But also as a coach, it's my responsibility to get him to say exactly what I was just thinking right there. He needs to come out and tell me that. That's how this whole thing works. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, man, I appreciate that. That's really good stuff. I'd like to change channels really quick if I could, unless y'all want to chime in one more thing. Good. So yesterday, check this out. There are still amazing people in this world. Yesterday, I'm sitting there in the car. I just dropped the wife off. I'm sitting in the car, got my blinker on, and I see this very nice lady, and she has this shirt on, and it's like a superstars. Look at this shirt right here, superpowers. Mm-hmm. It's all females on there. You got the female Batman, Wonder Woman, Superwoman. You got all of them. All of them are on this shirt right here. And her name was Miss Ruby. And I rolled down the window and I said, I would say she's probably in her 70s. I said, ma'am, I love that shirt. And she came right over to the window and she's like, oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And then I was like, you know what? My granddaughter, she's going to be a future, superstar, superpower. And she was like, wow, really? She was like, you won't believe this, but would she like a shirt? And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, I have an extra shirt. I was like, yeah, but ma'am, I'm sure you can give it back and they'll give you your money for it. You got a receipt, right? She's like, oh yeah, I got a receipt. She was like, but if your granddaughter would like it, man, I want to give it to her. I was like, are you kidding me? She was like, no. And I was like, wow. I was like, are you serious? She was like, yeah. I was like, well, what do I do? She was like, follow me over to my car. So, dude, I walked over there. I got a picture with her, Miss Ruby. And yeah, this is for Miss Sophia right here. The lady bought 2 shirts. One was too small. So this right here was gifted to my granddaughter. How cool is that?
That is cool.
That's a heck of a story, man. Was she in a
Unbelievable.
car?
No, she was walking into a store. I was in my car. Just let the wife out. She's walking towards the car. And I rolled down the window and I said, man, that is such an awesome shirt. I love it. And she walked right over. She's like, oh, thank you. You like all the girls? And I was like, oh, of course. And I was like, man, my granddaughter would love that shirt. Just thinking, hey, next question is going to be, where do you get that shirt? No, she said, I'm giving you a shirt for your granddaughter. I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, but you can get money for it. She's like, I don't care about the money. It's like, wow, you just going to bless somebody like that?
That just goes to show you that the kindness of others can touch somebody so much that they're on a podcast on a Friday morning talking about it because they were so blessed and amazed by it. Little acts of kindness, random acts of kindness like this can warm the cockles of your heart. How you feel, Coach Taylor?
I just think about something that Mr. Big told me.
What Mr. Big told me?
That the good things that you do, the good deeds that you do will send out ripples, all right, that will expand even past your lifetime. That's what he told me. Yeah,
you know what he told
Big.
me? You know what he told me?
What?
He said the good things that you do. When you're sitting in the front of a Cadillac Escalade with Tony Soprano don't mean shit when you're caught in the tractor beam of a UFO.
Don't start your
Kiss
own
your ass
car.
goodbye. That's what he told me.
Don't start your own car. Hey,
don't start your own car.
If
Always
anyone ever
valet.
asks you to start their car, don't do it.
If you're in Little Italy, and and you hear an explosion when the valet went to get your car, call an Uber. That's what he told me.
It makes me think of Dennis Rodman when he went to North Korea, and he walked down the stage, and it's a standing ovation. And he looks around, he looks behind him, he sees a little short guy. He goes, "Who is this?" And they go, "That is our leader." And he's like, he thought they were clapping for him. So then, like, all these guys come in suits, and he thinks, I'm being arrested. I'm from America. I mean, what do I expect? I got all these guys coming at me. I'm getting arrested. Remember? And then they take him to the party, and he's singing karaoke, and the only song that the band can play is the theme to Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
That made me think of that. Yeah, I'm getting.
He's singing that. He's just doing
I'm Dennis Rodman. I'm getting arrested.
But they love him over there now. They love him. Kim Jong-un loves that guy.
Yeah,
because for some reason they love basketball over there.
Did you? I've told you the story before where he goes, we tried to get Michael Jordan, but they sent us you. Yes. Well, I'll go. Yeah, Rick. That's the one place Ric Flair said he would never go back.
Right,
He's North Korea.
Well, they were really anti-American over there.
Yes.
At the time, and he had to say a lot of things in the press over there against America, and he didn't like that.
No, not at all. Ric Flair drip. Ric Flair
energy drink.
Have you drank the energy drink?
Woo! I haven't seen it down here yet. Have you, Coach?
No, sir.
I haven't seen it in any convenience stores yet.
Yeah.
I don't even know where they sell it. I mean, probably everywhere it is, they probably sell out. It's crazy, man.
I'll tell you how you can get it. You just go to any one of your 7-Elevens and say, hey, you got the Ric Flair energy drink? Oh, Ric Flair. What? Energy drink, Ric Flair? It's called Woo Energy. Woo Energy. I have to call. And they'll make a phone call, and they'll get it for you. They'll ask her. They'll ask every vendor that walks in their 7-Eleven. Yeah, you got the woohoo? You got the woohoo? The what? The woohoo? The what?
The stuff that Mr. Big told us to go buy
Pine
to
pollen.
have a good time. He
Pine
told me
pollen?
that you can get it in a convenience store. I said, dude, I'm not buying anything out of a convenience store that's supposed to be like a supplement.
Accessory. Yeah.
You can find right next to the Slim Jims and the Jack Link's beef jerky. You can find top quality dick pills at your local 7-Eleven.
I mean, and I heard there's some really good bath salts that they sell at 7-Eleven.
I think they've cracked down on that since the day of the Florida cannibal, the guy who chewed off a homeless man's face and ate it.
Yeah. Please, y'all, say no to bath salt.
Say no to bath salts.
Say no to what do they call it? They call it it's not medical marijuana. Is it like artificial?
Kratom?
I don't know what they call it, but
2K or something like that. 2K stuff.
Yeah, whatever it's called. But in Buffalo, we were at the store, and I look, and they have this entire rack, and it's marijuana. I'm like, what is this? I said, is this America we're in? They said, yes. I said, you sell this? And they said, yes. It was in a gift store of a low income hotel. And they have a whole cabinet of marijuana. I guess it's legal in New York.
It's
Bodega.
It's legal in Maryland also. It's legal in a lot of states, many states. Probably most of the continental United States is legal as long as it falls within the parameters of the legal amount of THC that you can have in that stuff. You'd have to smoke a lot of it to get high. I'll put it to you that way. And you have to do it rapid fire, like just joint after joint after joint after joint after joint after joint after joint to get the effect of one marijuana joint.
So basically, it's like that beer that they used to have that you could drink before you were 21. It was like a certain percentage.
What, like non-alcoholic beer?
No, like didn't they used to have like a certain type of beer that you could buy? Like this is like before, like probably in the 70s. It was like they called it something. It was like a percentage. Like
I forgot what the name of that was. It was a beer that had alcohol in it, but only like 0.5.
Yeah, a certain percentage you could buy before you were 21.
Right.
You could buy this type of beer. You couldn't buy the other type. I mean, I'm drinking coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I mean, I'm not drinking coffee for the taste. I'm drinking for the effect. Why do people drink non-alcoholic beer?
Because they like the taste of beer, and they're in a ritual of, at nighttime, I always sit down and have a 6-pack, or I always have a 12-pack. Some people, when they get off work, they'll drink a case or an 18-pack.
Come in.
And that's one of them right now.
How's it going? She's not here today. Yeah, because we didn't practice.
Behind the scenes
in practice
with Coach Troy Taylor.
Thank you.
Okay, so
Practice.
if you're in a ritual, if you're used to having a certain amount of beers at the end of the day, and you're trying to recover, you're a recovering alcoholic, you can go out and buy non-alcoholic beer, and it just doesn't do anything for you, but you got that taste. You feel like you did something, but you really didn't. And that fake marijuana, I've tried that before. Yes, I've tried it before. When I was in beverage sales. No, not bath salts, for God's sakes.
I mean,
It's in the cart.
I did
Tell him, Johnny, it's in the cart.
I did mushrooms behind a Circle K in the
I'm
dumpster
not
with a
making
man
any
named Habib.
confessions to anybody.
Yeah,
I'm not confessing anything that I've done.
The fake weed doesn't do anything for you. I bought fake gummies. I think it's called D9 or whatever it's called. Some kind of it's a letter and a number that they give this designation of fake marijuana. And I've tried that, and they don't do anything at all. That's why I have a marijuana card from the state of Florida. It's legit. There's so many people
You have a marijuana car?
I have not a car,
like
card.
Like a Cheech and Chong car? Marijuana?
Card. Yeah, I'm growing marijuana on the hood of my car.
Yeah.
Like a chia pet. Like a mobile chia
Cheech
pet.
and Chong car.
Yeah. Hey, that's an idea. Copyright that. The Cheech and Chong car from Up in Smoke, but it's a chia pet.
It
You
grows
wet it
smoke
and put
out-
the seeds on top, and it grows the marijuana on the car.
Brilliant.
man.
Copyright that, folks.
But I'm
If
in
anyone from the
Virginia,
chia
everything-
company's watching this,
This
you
is
owe
a
me.
Commonwealth, Virginia. Everything's illegal here.
Everything's illegal.
I live in a rest-a-field. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
Do they have ABC stores there? They have ABC stores there.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, okay.
That means the state is the only one that can make money
Yes.
off of alcohol.
Yes. Down
What
here
is
they
the
have-
regulation?
I don't
I'm
know.
sorry, what is the regulation, Coach? Don't they stop serving? I mean, you can't buy liquor after 11 or 12, or what is the deal there?
You asking me? I haven't
Yeah,
bought
you're probably the
alcohol
wrong
since
guy.
I was 21. I'm 45. All right. A few of us
Wrong
have
guy.
been to the ABC Commission.
You're not that
All
guy.
right. We've gone to some hearings at the ABC Commission. I mean, I don't know what the laws are. I mean, I think liquor stores are open all the time now. I mean, I think they should be 24/7, 365. They should be open at all times, because if this is America. And
What the hell is this, Russia?
Exactly. This is America.
This is America.
And if we have Americans that need to go to the store, they should be able to go. I had a former student that was from China, and I asked him, I said, hey, man, how do you like it here? He goes, I said, well, do you like it better here or China? He said, China. I said, really? I was like, it blew me away. And he goes,
Wow.
I said, why? He goes, more safe. I said, really?
He's right about that.
Couldn't leave your house after 9 p.m. Yeah. If you leave
That'll
your
make it
house,
more safe.
you get arrested. You get
Wow.
arrested. Why do you like it more? It's more safe. You leave your house after 9 p.m., they throw you in prison. Is it true that they have slaves in China? That they're slave labor?
There is slave labor from the prisons.
Well, they say the same thing in America.
Well, that's true. I mean, you see guys on the side of the road in orange jumpsuits picking up trash. You could say that's slave labor. They're working off their sentence.
Are they making them do it?
They're making them do it.
But those guys want to do it because they want to get out and they want to look at everybody.
Yeah.
Of course. Of course. I think they rotate through the guys. Now, naturally, if you took an axe and slaughtered your entire family and that the family of 5 next door to you, they're not going to put you out on the side of the road picking up trash. You're not going to do that. That's for the check forgers, the crackheads. A guy got the Pee Wee Hermans if you got caught whacking it in a movie theater. Those guys. Those are the ones who were.
They wouldn't give a chainsaw to a guy like, off of leather. What's his name? Leatherface.
Leatherface, yeah. If you're wearing a mask,
Probably
you need
not.
to have someone else's face. They're not going to hand you a
Shouldn't
chainsaw.
We
Cut
need
those
you to
trees
go
down.
whack down some trees. He's got a bunch of guys around him. I think they get paid 16 cents an hour. Well, I guess that technically, golly, that's not a lot.
You don't need a lot.
You
You're
have
in
to
prison.
work 10. You have to work almost 10 hours to buy a candy bar. Candy bars are $2 now. They used to be 50 cents.
Right.
Thank you for that, Matt Baker. I'm glad you know that. Okay, Matt, if you could let Coach Ball know, when do liquor stores close in Virginia? You know how much the guys on the side of the road make, 16 cents an hour. You might know that. I don't. Maybe
down
I'll
here,
find out.
down here in Florida, I found that.
Never been to a liquor store. That's impressive.
I wish I could say that.
Johnny
Right.
Bottles, you wouldn't get your name Johnny Bottles.
He grew up in one.
I grew up in a liquor store.
Yes. I have a friend, the same guy who had the curse placed on him by a witch with a voodoo doll that was sticking pins in his head and other parts of his body. He grew up on a bar stool. Sideline Cafe. Coach
Was that
Ball. Have you ever heard
Frank
of
Fleming?
Sideline?
Was that Frank
Oh
Fleming?
yeah.
Frank
Grew up on a
Fleming.
bar stool. Well, in Frank's
Frank-
case, 4 bar stools. to support that.
Matt says never been to jail. I thought he said never been to ABC store. Never been to jail.
Down here
That's
in Florida, they sell beer and wine everywhere.
You know, Matt,
Dollar Generals have beers. They sell beer and wine at Dollar Generals down here. Family Dollars.
Yeah.
They got it all. Everywhere you can buy beer and wine. But for alcohol, I went to a liquor store on a Sunday, and it was closed. I said, what's this guy out of business? What's going on Sunday? So I drove a little further up the road, and I went to Walmart Liquors. The Walmart had a freestanding liquor store that was run by Walmart, adjacent to the store. And I said, Chris, I went to one store right down by me, and it was closed. Oh, that's a different county. What? Sumter County. You can't sell alcohol on Sundays. They have blue laws? Oh, blue laws for liquor stores in Sumter County. In this county, I'll sell you whatever you want. I said, okay. Fine. Didn't know that. And I where I'm at, I drive through a 5-minute drive up the road. I'm going through 3 counties. Just like that. And so I had to learn the demarcations of where the lines were. So if I wanted to buy a little vodka on a Sunday, if I'm low,
why?
I could get a hold of it. What's that?
Why would they not sell alcohol on Sundays?
Don't know. Have no idea. And the slack-jawed yokel that I talked to at the Walmart Liquors had no idea.
Is that what they called it, the Walmart Liquors?
The Walmart Liquors is Walmart
Did it have
Liquors.
a Walmart logo? Was
Yes.
it the sun logo, or was it like the red, white, and blue logo?
Right, Walmart Liquors.
Was it like the yellow? You know how Walmart changed their logo? They stole, it's like that sun. Or was it the red, white, and blue?
No, this is the blue, just a blue little
Like
sunburst.
the star.
Yeah,
Like
regular
America,
Walmart.
America first.
America first.
Matt Baker said, because that is God's day. Thank you.
That's right. When
And
I was
that's the
growing up,
reason.
Coach, when I was growing up in the 60s, blue laws were nationwide. You couldn't go to a grocery store, a department store. You couldn't do anything on a Sunday. Everything.
Why
was
was
closed.
it called a blue law?
That's just the expression that they used for it. I have no idea why it was called a blue law. But that was the terminology that everyone used, even in the news media, the blue laws, the blue laws, the blue laws. And somehow a business sued, said it was unconstitutional, saying that movie theaters can be open, but I'm a place of entertainment. Liquor stores said, I'm a place of entertainment. People come here to get stuff for entertaining people. And I can't be open. I can't do this. I can't do that. You couldn't even go to a grocery store. You had to make sure you stocked up on Saturdays when you're off, because you wouldn't be able to do it on Sunday. Then they got lax. They started saying, okay, we'll rescind the blue laws, but you only have a certain time that you can shop. That's why on Sundays some malls are only open from like 12 to 7 or 11 to 6. They wanted to restrict the hours.
Yeah, I went with my buddies.
I didn't know.
You have no buddies. We're holding him hostage. It looks like a hostage video.
That's it.
Yeah.
We want some football helmets and some shoulder pads, so we're not going to release them anytime soon.
He's doing a lot of talking there.
Yeah, I was telling our track coaches won 5 state championships. Is it 5?
8.
Oh, I'm sorry, 8 state championships.
8
All right,
state
5's
championships.
not enough. 8.
That's fantastic.
The best championships are next one.
Yeah, you always want your second one more than your first one. I guess you want your third more than your second. But he was asking me about, do I ever get confused with the real Troy Taylor, the coach at Stanford? And only one time a guy asked me, are you the Troy Taylor that played quarterback in the NFL? I was like, do I look like an NFL quarterback? I mean, he played for the Jets, played for, I think, the Florida Gators. I don't know, maybe Cal.
What's your middle name?
Troy Vincent.
You ought to go by Troy V. Taylor. So people can
TVT.
know.
Then it looks like a
That's your
Supreme Court case. Troy V. Taylor.
versus Taylor. Yes, it would, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Troy V. Taylor.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to find somebody with the last name Troy to take me to the Supreme Court. Again. Joseph Scalia, is he still alive?
Joseph Scalia? No, he's gone.
Oh, he's gone.
That was a hit. But Joseph Scalia was not as clean as a whistle, as everyone said.
Yeah,
Joseph
neither was
Scalia.
Clarence Thomas.
Joseph Scalia was found dead on vacation at a ranch frequented by pedophiles. And they would. Oh, he's out on that note. I scared him off. What do you think of that?
I guess we know his safe word, huh?
As soon as you hear the word pedophile, he's out the door. He doesn't want them near him. Yeah, Scalia was at a ranch that was frequented by pedophiles. It was a boys' ranch where they brought underprivileged kids in to do chores and work and, ride horses and things like that. What would a grown man be doing on vacation at a boys' ranch that was run by pedophiles? Who knows?
Nothing good.
Nothing good could come of that. And nothing good came of it because he had some sort of heart attack while he was there and passed away. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we were just to change up a little bit.
On a happy note.
Yeah. Well, our guy Motorhead yesterday was talking about the Bruiser Brody possible movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then he put up a couple people. What did you think about that, man? I would think that would be brilliant. I think the bigger the star that plays that role, the more that people are going to, more mainstream will start looking into, pro wrestling and specifically the old school wrestling.
I'd say that casting was spot on. Jason Momoa. He's got the size. He can always get bigger. They always do. They find a way to get bigger and more ripped. He's got the hair. He's got the beard. He could be Bruiser Brody. And for the wrestling scenes, you could bring in Roman Reigns to be the stunt double for the wrestling scenes.
Brilliant.
That's perfect, dead-on casting. And Bruiser Brody's got a fascinating story to tell. How he came up, how he fought and clawed his way on the indie circuit. He went from promotion to promotion, getting top dollar because he deserved it. And he wouldn't always do the job for a guy. He had to respect the guy that he was going to do the job for. And the guy had to be a decent worker. And not to mention where it all ends in Puerto Rico for Bruiser Brody, unfortunately. But yeah, that would be a great story to tell. If anyone's actually writing that movie, who knows? Maybe somewhere there's a wrestling fan who's a screenwriter who could be doing a screenplay on the life and times of Bruiser Brody. If they think it's a good enough story to tell, we all know how it ends, and that's a hell of a story right there. But I mean, how would you end that? Where 3/4 of the way through the movie, the star gets killed. He gets brutally murdered in a shower stall down in Puerto Rico. Where do you go from there? You have to have a strong female to play his wife, Barbara Goodish, to navigate the rest of the movie, the final quarter of the movie. But
right,
what a story!
Yeah, what a legend, man! What a legend! Yeah. I always my first really memories were the world class wrestling, and him mixing it up with the Von Erichs and Abdullah the Butcher. Him and Abdullah the Butcher. They made a ton of money together, just a ton of money. But that guy, man, I mean, he was a freak of nature. I mean, he was 6'6", 300 pounds, could do flying drop kicks, could jump off the top rope, could do it all, man. Just a prototypical monster. And he was a scary man. There's some footage of him coming down to the ring in Japan, I believe. And he's swinging, he's swinging the big chain around, and I mean, people are getting the hell out of the way. They are scared for their lives running from that guy. It was like seeing a modern day King Kong or Godzilla coming at him.
Yeah, that was, folks. He was swinging that chain, and he wasn't trying to not hit somebody. He was whipping that chain around over his head, and it got longer and longer as he was doing it. It was coming close to the fans, and they bailed out when he came down the aisle. They jumped out of their seats and took off. Because you never knew what he was going to do. It was a lot like what Big Papa Pump used to do when he would go to another country for TNA. Impact now it's called, but it was TNA back then. He went to India, and he did all that stuff to scare the fans in India. He even climbed the barricade and chased a few of them. Yeah. Those certain guys have that scary, macho demeanor. Like you never know what they're going to do next. And, yeah, Brody was the king of that, dude. He was the king of that. You never knew what you're going to get. What about Lex Luger when he wrestled Luger? In that cage match?
Yeah, he scared the death out of Lex Luger. And Lex, thought that he was on something. Like he wasn't mentally right.
Mm-hmm.
And that, yeah, man, I think he climbed out of the whole freaking cage, didn't he?
Yeah, he climbed the cage and got the hell out of there. Went back to the dressing room and grabbed his stuff, didn't even shower. He grabbed all his stuff and took off.
Yeah, unbelievable. Definitely a guy with Bruiser Brody, definitely a guy you wanted on your side, man. You wouldn't want him freaking out on you. That's for sure.
He didn't respect Lex Luger. And they wanted him to job the Luger, and he didn't want to do it. So.
But yeah, our life lesson of the day, there are two places you need to go often: the place that heals you and the place that inspires you. And that can be pretty broad. Give me something or somebody, maybe music, maybe a grandkid that heals you, and then do the same for somebody that inspires you, if you could, Johnny.
Well, how many people listen to music when they work out?
Yeah.
That heals you as you're working out. That drives you. That motivates you. When you're listening to Ace of Spades by Motorhead and you're lifting weights, you're listening to Metallica and Justice for All. You're listening to your favorite fast, hard-driving song, whether it's Enter Sandman or The Middle by Jimmy Eat World. Just throwing that out there. Something like that that's got a nice beat, nice rhythm, can get you moving. And a lot of people need that. They say music feeds the soul. And I firmly believe that it does. And someone that will motivate you, somebody it's always the people that keep you honest, like your wife, your kids, your grandchildren. They motivate you to be a better person. Who wants to look like a schmuck in front of your wife or your grandkids or your children? No one does. So they motivate you to be a good person, to always do the right thing, and hopefully you listen to that little angel voice that's sitting on one shoulder and brush off the little devil that's sitting on the other shoulder. Brush him away. Troy Taylor. Matt Baker says Troy Taylor is a person that motivates him. Why not?
Amen.
Troy Taylor's better than a cup of coffee in the morning. He'll keep you on your toes. He'll get you moving. You never know where the conversation will lead.
You're right about that, man. You're right about that. Get them chopping, guys. Get them chopping. No doubt. He is a great motivator.
Mm-hmm.
And, things that inspire me, man, is just good deeds, kindness, Miss Ruby giving this. I mean, that is just so amazing that she don't know me from nothing, wants to give me that just because I guess how I made her feel. And just talking about my granddaughter, and just to meet somebody right off the street, and them to do that, man, that's very inspirational. And it just goes to show you that, good deeds are, by doing good deeds, they always come back for you. They always come back to give back for you. And the healing, for myself, it's that physical activity. It's doing things that are difficult and having them become easy. It's sitting in the car at 120 degrees for 20 minutes and watching my soul or that badness melt right off of me. So I feel, amazing. But folks,
I thought you were going to say, watching my life flash before my eyes.
No, hey, sometimes you blink and you're like, man, I got to wake up a little bit in here, because it feel like it's draining you. But no, you do. You got to push yourself and do different things to get improvements. You can't keep doing the same thing and think you're going to get different outcomes sometimes. But yeah, Totem Pole Nation, we really appreciate you guys. I'll give a shout out to Sideline Design, keeping us looking fly. We got to get our baseball cards, our football cards, our SCM podcast cards. We got to start printing out some good merch so we can get rid of. And a huge shout out to Cultivate Wellness there. Check them out. They can ship it right to your door. All kinds of amazing products there to help you out. And yeah, if you're in the St. Pete, Tampa, or Bradenton area, it's almost football season, guys, which means, happy wife, happy life. Send them over to our med spa and we will take good care of them. She can get an amazing facial from Wendy. She can get Botox if she needs. The guys, if you want the Brotox, they can take care of that as well. And yeah, for anybody suffering through depression, there is another way to attack that beast, and that is through ketamine infusions. That's what we're doing there. It's a big time game changer. And I just love being able to make a difference in people. And also, we're doing weight loss over there as well. We've dropped over 100 pounds through several different people, all combined. So it's amazing seeing people trying to live their best life and everything. But yeah, besides that, have a great weekend. And Johnny Bottles, anything else to go ahead and end the show for us, my brother? Thank you.
That's it, folks. So is another life lesson. Give us a thumbs up. Don't give us a thumbs down. Please give us a thumbs up. It helps with the YouTube algorithm where we can be seen by more people. It will come up in your recommended lineup or on your YouTube homepage. And if you like what you see, you like the content on Totem Pole Nation, please subscribe. We need the money. So long from the Sunshine State, folks, as the great Gordon Soley used to say. Catch you Monday.